Hey, what's up everybody? The Fish Tank Guy here, and I'm bringing you an update on my 10-gallon Nano Reef. So, actually the last video that you saw in this series was the completion of the cycle. Now, because of various things happening in my life, I actually filmed that video quite a while ago, over a month ago, maybe actually a month and a half ago, just so I could produce regular content on my channel. I filmed a couple videos ahead of time and I didn't release them all at once, so I'd be able to put out like a video a week just to keep coming up with something new. However, since that video I have incorporated numerous corals into the 10-gallon Nano Reef and it's doing very well. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick tour and show you how everything's looking. To be honest with you, I actually need to go through and I need to clean the glass. You're going to see some algae on the glass that I need to take care of, but I will be doing that soon. And I also need to clean up the cords in the back. I actually just moved this tank into my basement this last week, so I do have to clean up a little bit, but other than that, it's doing very well so far. So I'm going to start from left to right, and I'm going to show you what I've got in here. Of course, my yellow tail blue damsel is in there still. I'm not really actually going left to right with him, but he's the only fish in the tank, so I figured I'd start there. So, okay, if I start on the left side here, I've got my Sunny D's that I moved from, that I put into my BioCube, and I moved back into this tank after it was cycled. And up here, there is a red Monty right there. This coral up top, now actually, I could use some help with this one. I bought it from Petco. It was a really cheap frag, and it is some sort of LPS, but I don't know exactly what it is. It kind of looks like, I know it's not a mushroom, but it kind of looks like one, like a real-life mushroom, not a coral mushroom. Kind of looks like a real-life mushroom, and it's got green in the center on the top. So if anybody knows what that is, please let me know. Then down here is my Altayuma mushroom that I had in the 5-gallon tank and then in the BioCube, and now it's in the 10-gallon tank and it's doing well. I kind of have it under the rocks there because it doesn't like quite as much light as some of the other coral in the tank, so I gave it a little bit of darkness / shade there in the middle of the tank. Continuing on here are my two favorites. Up front is my awesome open brain. That thing is looking mighty fine, super jelly-like, and it opens pretty regularly for me to feed it. I try to feed it a couple times a week if I can. Doesn't always work out that way, but it's doing well in this tank. And then in the back there is actually a baby frog spawn. Now I wish I would have gotten a video of this a couple weeks ago when I first got it, because it was actually probably half of this size. It was not very big at all, and it's growing very quickly, which is really awesome. And I don't do any hand feeding or anything special with it. I pretty much feed the damsel frozen mysis and frozen brine shrimp, and obviously some of it floats around the tank, with the exception of the open brain that I feed directly. So other than that, at this point in time, this tank is doing really well. I probably do a 1 to 1.5 gallon water change every other week. Not every week, every other week. And that seems to be enough to keep parameters in check and keep things doing well and thriving. And I also change out the filter. So it's going to be hard to see. But in there above the sponge, I do have some filter pad that after, a week or two, it does get pretty brown, and I change that out. But other than that, this 10-gallon Nano Reef is doing very well. And as I mentioned in an earlier video, when I talked about purchasing equipment for it, this is pretty much exactly everything that I mentioned in this video, with the exception of the hang-on back filter. It's a little different, but at the end of the day, it's just a hang-on back filter, so it's not all that different. The one thing that I will say that I changed from my budget video is that guy up there, the little power head that I have. Now, I actually had a Rio Plus 50 in the 5-gallon tank, and I did not think that would provide enough flow in the 10-gallon tank. However, when I moved up to the Rio model that I mentioned in that video, I can't remember which model it was now, it was actually very loud. Like the fan was the propeller and the pump itself was very loud to the point where it was annoying. So I ended up putting this Rio Plus 50 back into this tank, the one that I had in the 5-gallon tank, and surprisingly, it's plenty of flow as far as I'm concerned. I can see the coral on the bottom of the tank kind of you can tell, right, by the frog spawn, the way the frog spawn is moving. And it's directly beneath the power head, so it's not directly in its stream or anything. That's just the movement of the water throughout the entire tank. And it's enough flow for the tank, so I'm happy about that. That's really the only thing I changed. So once again, I'm the Fish Tank Guy. I'd like to thank you guys for checking out my 10-gallon Nano Reef series. I'm getting a lot of positive feedback and some great questions, and some people are asking me about starting tanks of their own, which is really awesome. And of course, if you guys decide to start your own tanks, I'd love to see pictures or videos or whatever you'd like to do to show off your tank, because I always like to see what combinations of aquascaping people come up with and what corals they try to put in their tank, because I'm getting ideas all the time myself. So again, if you enjoy my videos and you haven't yet subscribed, I really appreciate it if you would do so. And if you are already a subscriber, thanks so much for watching and following my channel on YouTube. So until my next video, I will catch you guys later.